Color trends can take all kinds of turns. One year we seem to be obsessed with the blues of the Mediterranean. The next, we focus on warm grays for a more understated look. This year, at least according to the color team at Behr Paint, they see the latest color trend borrowing a bit from Mother Nature herself. Looking for a natural color to revitalize your space? Then have I got the color for you. I'm James from thepaintpeople.com, and this is Color Code, cracking the code on color selection. This is a segment of videos where we discuss paint colors in detail, their undertones, and how to best use them in your home or your customers. If there are any colors you want featured on Color Code, don't forget to comment below and let me know. And also, go ahead and subscribe if you enjoy painting or colors. Who doesn't like colors, am I right? Normally when I'm helping a customer pick colors, the word green can sometimes have a slight stigma attached to it, especially when it's described as an undertone. Oftentimes, when discussing a neutral palette, for example, my client might say something like, "Oh, I don't want it to look green or anything." I find green can be most effective when it's used deliberately, an unadulterated use of color that sends a clear message. The message of today's color code, S340-4, is one of rejuvenation. It's by Behr Paint, it was named their 2020 Color of the Year, and it's called Back to Nature. It's a color that gives away a lot from its name. It harkens back to our roots of being part of nature. The first color I think of in regards to nature and a natural scene is green. But fear not, green haters. There's not a lot to complain about here. It's comprised of tones that you would find naturally occurring in the wilderness, which keeps everything grounded and soothing. On the neutral scale, we can see that Back to Nature does favor the warmer side of things, which is to be expected. Not only does it take the green from the various flora that exists, but also some of the golden warmth from the sun rays. Even though it possesses a vibrant quality from the green and the gold, it seems to be balanced with a slight brown or taupe that keeps it from being overly bright. This touch of taupe makes Back to Nature look a bit closer to the color of cargo pants, rather than a perfectly manicured front lawn. It has an LRV of 48, which means it's classified as a mid-tone. Mid-tones are a great compromise of being light enough that you can use it for an entire room, yet still have enough depth with an array of undertones. It's this combination of undertones that give Back to Nature a surprising amount of versatility, considering it isn't your typical neutral grayish or off-white. With that said, where are some of the best places to use Back to Nature? With a name like that, the color is best used when surrounded by greenery in one way or another. The first major use for it would be as an exterior color. When natural light hits this color, it truly comes to life. And what better way to expose it to the elements than having it outside? Whether you use it for a front door, a garden shed, or all over the siding on your house, I feel it will work quite nicely. Generally speaking, I would more so recommend it on houses near more rural landscapes, or perhaps suburbs that have a lot of surrounding greenery. The same applies when you bring the color inside in a front living room, for example. Huge bonus points if you have indoor planters or terrariums, as they'll complement the wall color really well. The more natural light, the better. So if you have windows facing south, you'll be able to maximize the overall look. What trim color should you pair it with? Personally, if I'm going to use Back to Nature on the walls or on the exterior of a house, I'm going to want the trim to double down on that beautiful warmth. I've seen people pair it with another Behr color called Polar Bear. Now, even though the name might suggest it would be a colder off-white, it has a slight yellow tone that represents the golden sun reflecting off of a polar bear's white fur. At least, that's how I interpret it. Think of it as Benjamin Moore's Cloud White with a hint of taupe as well. What are some alternatives to Back to Nature? If we're staying in the realm of warm, earthy greens, I could also recommend Benjamin Moore's Urban Nature AF440. It has a similar LRV, but it also has more gray in it, making it more appropriate for an urban decor. It's still true to the green side, but its warmth is toned down ever so slightly. Now, Behr's version of the color Urban Nature is an even further departure. S380-3 is lighter than both colors, and it takes another step towards the cooler side of things. It has a bit more of that gray feel in certain spaces, making it feel a bit airy and perhaps a bit more industrial. But let's get back to Nature. I see it as a color that fulfills a nice little niche with its great use of a natural green. It may not be a tantalizing option for any minimalist designers watching, but I find it to be a rather optimistic color choice that can add some serene positivity to your home. The color of the year represents the current trend of color. We learned about Behr's choice, now let's find out what Benjamin Moore picked. Because according to them, it's a soft pink called First Light. And you can check it out right here in our first episode of Color Code. We do 2 videos every single week on the Paint People channel, and we love to talk about paint colors and how to best apply them. If you like paint, show me by hitting that like button. That's all I ask. That's it for this one. See you on the next one.